So once again, good morning to all the students, online as well as offline. Okay. So last we have completed the chapter Mineral and Power Resources. I've already shared the hints. I hope you all have completed the work. Okay. And one diagram is also to be drawn in that. Diagram of hydel energy. Okay, I had put in the group also, but otherwise also those who have not drawn still, they must draw the diagram. And one map work is also left. The map work we will do tomorrow. Okay, because today might be you are not having the maps because I forgot to put the message yesterday, so that's why so we are not doing it today. So tomorrow we will do the map work. So all will bring one political map of India. Okay, nuclear and thermal power plants of India we have to do. So that will be done yesterday, and then it will be formally, officially that chapter will be complete. Okay, so now most of the syllabus we have covered. Okay, so we are left with two chapters of civics now: understanding secularism and understanding laws. So these chapters actually they are in the form of you can say extensive reading, but still we are explaining you, and back exercises, question answers are not to be done of these two chapters. So understanding secularism will be assessed via source based questions. Okay, only source based questions will come from this chapter, secularism, and the second one, understanding laws, only terms. Okay, so when we will be studying that chapter, that time side by side I will be telling you that important terms are there. Okay, so let's start. And these two chapters are small also, so I think it will be covered both before both. Here, so let's start understanding secularism. First of all, can you tell me what do you mean by secularism? Can I say India is a secular country? Yes, Jashan. The idea not to promote one religion. Yes, very good. So that's why we say that India is a secular country where people from all the religions they live together in peace and harmony. Okay, it's not like one religion country, because you know that Maharashtra, so different states have different religion people. Okay, we have Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, Parsis. So many religion people are living together. So there is no as such any discrimination between them. But still, we need to understand that what is the idea of secularism, and if it is not there, so how does one feel? Yes, that no country or state can promote a particular religion. No, they can promote, but in India we are talking about. Secularism means not promoting any one religion. Can to nahi, can to still people, still some countries are doing it. Like Pakistan, only Muslims are there. Only Muslims are there, in Pakistan. And now, are you aware of what is happening in Afghanistan now? What is happening in Afghanistan? Taliban is taking over. Yes. So, is it what according to you is fair? Is it fine or not? No. Forcefully, forcefully they are coming and they are encroaching. They are taking over. They are being rude to people. They are killing people. Okay, so that's not good on their part. But still, it is being done. It's kind of a revenge. Earlier, also, some few years back, they had done this, but now again with full force and with preparation, they have done this thing. Okay, so that is very sad news and sad circumstances that happening. And you know that some people they just sat over the plane and came, sat over the plane, not inside the plane, over the plane. And some people they fell down also from the flying plane and they were killed. So you can imagine what kind of tragic situation is there. Means people are so curious to leave Afghanistan because they know that their rule is not total rule. Okay, so very bad condition is there, very bad condition. Okay, so understanding secularism, chapter number 2, civics book, page number 18. So very nice example they have started with. Imagine yourself as a Hindu or Muslim living in a part of the United States of America where Christian fundamentalism is very powerful. So you have to imagine that you are either Hindu or a Muslim and you are living in the US and where the Christian rule is there. Okay. Suppose that despite being a US citizen, though you have the citizenship of US, okay, you are the resident over there, citizen over there, but still no one is willing to rent their house to you. Nobody want to give their house to you just because you are Hindu or Muslim. How would this make you feel? How would you feel then if nobody is giving you a house or rent? How would you feel then? Will you feel good? Obviously, no, you will not feel good because you will feel depressed that just because of my religion, nobody is letting me to enter their house. And though it is officially if one pays the rent, so one can give the house on rent, but still that will make us feel very depressed. Would it not make you feel resentful, sad? Okay. What if you decided to complain against this discrimination and were told to go back to India? So what will happen? How would you feel that if they will tell you you go back to India, you do not belong here? Would this not make you feel angry? Would you feel angry? Yes. Your anger could take two forms. First, you might react by saying that Christians should get the same treatment in places where Hindus and Muslims are in a majority. So one form is this, that you also feel that revenge feeling will come, that if there Hindu and Muslim majority countries there, so their Christians also should be treated like this. One form is this. This is a form of retaliation. What do you mean by retaliation? Yes. Retaliation means a kind of revenge feeling. Retaliation means revenge feeling. So you will feel like taking the revenge. What is happening to you? So you will feel that if there is a Muslim and Hindu majority country, so same thing should happen with the Christians also. This is a form of retaliation. Or second is, you might take the view that there should be justice for all. There should be justice for all means there should not be any kind of discrimination. You may fight stating that no one should be discriminated against on grounds of their religious practices and beliefs. So which method is good? Revenge method or justice method? Justice method. Because why? You tell me why. Why justice method is good? Why justice way of problem solving is good? Yes, very good. There will be no relation between the countries. Yes. Yes, if we will opt for justice, so that will benefit all people. Okay, it is not like that my problem will be solved, but others will also get justice. So we should work like that something should be done for the benefit of all. Okay, so yes, that's why justice is a good option, because otherwise also we should not follow the violent methods. Okay, we should avoid fights and avoid these things. So we should live peacefully. So for peaceful living, we should go for justice option. Okay. You may fight stating that no one should be discriminated against this done. This statement rests on the assumption that all forms of domination related to religion should end. Means in some countries some religions are dominating. So this should end. This is the essence of secularism. So this is the main basic idea of secularism, that there should be no discrimination on the basis of one's religion. Okay, it should be equal to all the opportunities, all the facilities, everything should be equal to all. It is not like that one religion is small and the other is big. And even if there is majority of Hindus and Muslims, so then also Christians should also not be underestimated. If Christians are in majority, then also the other religion should not be underestimated. So it should not depend on how many number of people are living of that religion. Okay, there should be equality in religion. So like we say, we have the fundamental rights, right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion says that if all the citizens of the country, they have the right to propagate any religion. They can opt any religion, they can convert to any religion, they can you can say they can preach any religion. Okay, so nobody can force anyone that you should follow this religion. In this chapter, you will read more about what this means in the Indian context. So, is this properly followed in India? Do you believe that in India we can say that it is a completely secular country? How? Why? Why do you feel so? Yes, still very good. Still in some remote country or remote places of the country, there is still a discrimination based on the religion. You know, untouchables. Still, those people are treated like this, that they are not allowed to enter the temples. They are not allowed to sit together and eat. And the people also, they do not go to their houses. They do not touch them. And if they happens to touch them, so that they go and take bath. So they feel like they have okay, yes. So still these kind of things are prevailing in the society, which needs to be banished, which needs to be removed from the society. Then only we can say that India is a completely secular country. So history provides us with many examples of discrimination. So in the history, we have seen so many examples of discrimination, exclusion. What is exclusion? What is in one word is inclusion. And what is exclusion? Very simple. What is the exclusion? Yes, exclusion means to exclude someone from your society. Inclusion means to include. Exclusion means to exclude, to remove someone from your society that he does not belong to our religion or our status or our caste, something on the basis of that. So that is called exclusion. And persecution on the grounds of religion. What is persecution? What is persecution? Persecution. Anyone? Online? Batwara? Mansimar is saying Batwara. Yes, Devanshi. Write in the chat box. Yes, Jashan. Treat badly or over a long period. Yes, very good. Yes. Okay, persecution means you can write down treat badly over a long period on the grounds of religion. So these things are there: discrimination, exclusion, and persecution on the grounds of religion. You may have read about how Jews were persecuted in Hitler's Germany. You have read this? Not yet. So this will come in your 9th class social science. Okay, 9th class social science, you will be reading about world wars. Okay, world history you will be reading about, because in India, in 6th standard, there was ancient history, 7th class, medieval history, 8th class, modern history. So you are done with the Indian history now. In 9th standard, you will be studying about the world history, world wars, what happened between the countries and all that. Yes, Hitler, all this will come in 9th standard. So then in his rule, in Hitler's rule, Jews were persecuted. He did not like the Jews. Okay, so they were persecuted, they were treated very badly under his rule, and how several million were killed. Okay, you will study more about in the 9th standard about world wars, that how it happened, what were the reasons for the world wars, which countries were included, and which countries were on one side and which were on the other side. So that all you will study. Now, however, the Jewish state of Israel treats its own Muslim and Christian minorities quite badly. So, see, what is the consequence of treating someone badly? What will happen? That revenge feeling is there, and they will also start doing the same with others whenever they get the chance. So same thing happened. The Jews were badly treated by the Hitler, and then after later on in Israel, when Muslim and Christian minorities were there, they were in less people, so they started treating Jews started treating Christians and Muslims in the same way as they were treated under the Hitler's rule. So same feeling of revenge comes that if we have suffered, so we will make others also suffer the same thing. So that feeling should not be there. Okay, and it comes naturally. If someone is doing bad to you, you also feel that I should also do the same with the other if I get the chance. Okay, so in Saudi Arabia, non-Muslims are not allowed to build a temple. See, this is also discrimination on the basis of religion. In Saudi Arabia, non-Muslims are not allowed to build a temple, church, etc., and nor they can gather in a public place for prayers. So these are the examples from the history of discrimination that still in the history we have seen such cruel discriminations where the people from one religion, they were not allowed to do something. Okay, in all of the above examples, members of one religious community either persecute or discriminate against members of other religious communities. These acts of discrimination take place more easily when one religion is given official recognition by the state at the expense of other religions. So why does this happen? Why are they saying? From where do they get the power of treating others badly? Tell no. If I say that in this class, mostly Sikhs are there and Christians are very less. Okay, so I will form the government and I will give more power to the Sikhs. So then what will you do? Then obviously you will treat others badly. Yes, there's Jannat is saying from the government. For example, I am the prime minister of this class, and I am giving the power more to Sikhs because there is majority of the Sikhs. Okay, so I am giving more power to Sikhs that my country will be a Sikh country. Okay, so then what will you do with other people? Obviously, you will treat them badly because I have given you the power. So it is from the government that the people get the power to discriminate against others. So whose duty is there then to remove all these things? Obviously, the government has to run fair. So government has to give equal status like we have given, like in our rights are there, right to freedom of religion is there. So those things should be there and it should be practiced by the government first. That government should be fair for all the religion people and they should not promote any one religion. They should not say that India is a Hindu country or India is a Sikh country. So that's why we say that India is a secular country. Secular country means all religions are of equal importance. Nobody is high and nobody is low. Okay, so it is from the government that the people get the power. So in our government, in our system, there is equality. So members of one religious community either persecute. So why do they discriminate? Because they get the power from government. Okay, question can be there that why do people discriminate or persecute others? Because they get power from the government. These acts of discrimination take place more easily when one religion is given official recognition. Okay, so if I give official recognition to Sikhs only, that my country will be a Sikh country. So I have given you the official recognition. Obviously, all the Sikhs will come under power that it is our country. Okay, and all you have to go from here. Clearly, no one would wish to be discriminated against because of their religion, not dominated by another religion. Okay, no one wants to be discriminated. All are the creatures of the God only. God has made you. It is not like that you have opted your religion. Then options were there in front of you. Okay, pick one religion. It is not like that. Okay, it is from your family that what you're getting. Okay, and Even from your family, if you go back to the ancestors, you don't know that really you are from which religion. Maybe any of your grandfather and sister has converted to some other religion. Can be there. How do you know? You never know. Okay, so that's why we should have respect for each and every religion. Okay, otherwise religion is what? There is only one God, no? Only forms are different. Sikhs go to Gurudwara, Hindus go to temple. This is also made by the people only, na? This is not made by the God. So God is, we say God is one. Only the people have given different forms. So that is, I don't know why it is so, but still you should be neutral in your thinking. Okay, don't be very what do you say? क्या बोलते हैं? कट्टर को क्या बोलते हैं? Robust. Yes. Kattar means very strict. Means a person who is very strict to his religion. कि नहीं मेरा religion best है. Yes. Atheist कुछ नहीं ना वो neutral रहेगा. वो तो सबसे अच्छा फिर atheist जो है. He does not believe in any god. Okay, so that is the best. And there are people. There are so many people. Atheist who does not believe in God. Atheist and atheist are not. This is a spelling. E-I-R-I-T, something like that. I don't know. I think I-T. I-T. Atheist is a person who does not believe in God. Bhagwan kuch nahi. So he has that thinking that right and wrong. He goes for right and wrong. He always believes what is right, he will do that, and what is wrong. What he always follows the heart. I think that is the best person, at least. He does not believe in God and he's just without any tension, no religion to follow, nothing, no Gurudwara, no temple, nowhere. It's okay. And he just believes on what he does in his life. Okay. So what he does, he believes that if it is right, then he will do that. Otherwise, so it is only, I think the God is inside him then somewhere, who is leading him. Okay, because he's not believing in outside God forms. I think that's also good thinking. Okay. Okay. So they say that yes, clearly no one wants to be discriminated. Okay. In India, yes, a person who is strict to his religion are called pious. Pious is a spiritual person, not strict to one's religion. In India, can the state discriminate against a citizen on the grounds of the religion? In India, can discrimination be done? According to the parliament, according to the laws, constitution, it is not allowed. But still, somewhere, some hidden areas are there where these things are still being practiced, or still these things are prevailing in the society, you can say. Okay, now understand what is secularism. In this, now important lines are there. In the previous chapter, you read about how the Indian Constitution contains fundamental rights. So all of you know now what are the fundamental rights. Arpit will tell. Arpit, what are the fundamental rights? You are the citizen of India. You know your rights or not? I think all of you should know their rights. I think this is the basic thing in social science to know about your rights. What are your rights? Tell fast. If you do not know your rights, I don't think that you have the right to live in this country. Then. Shall we order you to leave India? Seriously, you should know it. Yes, Hardeep. Right to live in any state is not a right. That comes under right to freedom only. So you have to tell right to freedom. Right to freedom of religion. Cultural and educational rights. Right to freedom, that comes later. Right to? Yes. Right to equality, कितने सारे नहीं है? Only 6 fundamental rights are there. Right to equality, right to freedom, right to freedom of religion. Religion is different, and then right against exploitation, cultural and educational rights, and last is right to constitutional remedies. If you believe that any of the right is exploited, then you have the right to go to the court and file the case. Yes, Arpit, now you know. Right to freedom of speech comes under right to freedom only. So all of you must know your rights. There are 6 fundamental rights. At least this thing to you just feed up in your mind, because that will help you for your whole life. You should know your rights. You are living in this country. You should know that what is allotted to you. What rights have been given to you by the constitution. It is not for the knowledge, but it is your right to know also. You know, right to information is also a right. Right, RTI. Right to information. That is also a right. So exploitation, that is right against exploitation. Okay, now see here. So what is secularism? In the previous chapter, you read about how the Indian Constitution contains fundamental rights that protect us against the state power as well as against the tyranny of the majority. What is tyranny? Tyranny is the power, okay, power of the majority. The Indian Constitution, underline this line, the Indian Constitution allows individuals the freedom to live by their religious beliefs and practices as they interpret these. Okay, so in India, the Constitution has allowed us that the individuals have the freedom to live by their religious beliefs, that whichever religion they want to follow, they can follow. And in keeping with this idea of religious freedom for all, India also adopted a strategy of separating the power of religion and the power of the state. What do you mean by this? India adopted a strategy of separating the power of religion and the power of the state. Very good. Yes. So it is not, even though Punjab has many Sikhs, but still we cannot say that Punjab is a Sikh state. We cannot say that. Okay. Though majority of Sikhs are there, but still we cannot say that, because power of the religion is different and power of the state is different. Okay. They cannot dominate the state. These Sikhs cannot dominate the Punjab state just because we are Sikhs and we are majority here. So we cannot underestimate anyone else who belong to Sikhs and Hindus and not Sikhs, Hindu, Muslim, Christians, other religions. Okay, so that is the separation of the religion and the state, and it is very important also. The next topic is this only, that why is the need to separate the religion from the state. So secularism refers to, underline this line also, 3 points are here. Secularism, last line, secularism refers to this separation of religion from the state. Okay, so religion should not be linked with the state. Okay, so now tell me, why is it important to separate the religion from the state? Okay. Otherwise, what will happen if only one religion will take over the state? Then obviously, then the concept of secularism in India, that will be destroyed. Okay, we cannot say that India is a secular country. If we will promote only one religion and if we will link the state with the religion, then we cannot say that India is a secular country. Okay, that will be removed there. So that's why it is important. As discussed above, the most important aspect of secularism is its separation of religion from the state power. Underline this line, which is the most important aspect of secularism, is the separation of religion from the state power. This is important for a country to function democratically. Okay, then only we can say that India is a secular country and it is for the people, by the people, of the people, because all the people have equal rights here. Almost all countries of the world will have more than one religious group living in them. Okay, almost all have. Within these religious groups, there will most likely be one group that is in a majority. It happens now. Everywhere it is. Like in India, which is the majority religion? Hindus. Okay, Hindus are the majority, but still we cannot say that India is a Hindu country. Okay, we don't say that. So then, uh, yes, whatever. That is only a name, but we cannot say that India is a Hindu country. Just that is on the basis of majority only. हिंदुस्तान को majority के नाम पे बस दिया है नाम, but still we do not call it Hindustan now. The official name is Bharat. India and Bharat. Okay, these are all old names now. We do not say मैं हिंदुस्तान जा रहा हूँ. I'm going to India, Bharat. Okay. So if this majority religious groups has access to state power, now understand that why is there is a need to separate the religion from the state. So they say that in every country there is one religion which is a majority. If this majority religious group has the access to state power, कि अगर इस majority को if you give the power, if you give the state power, then it could quite easily use this power. Then the majority that majority will use the power and financial resources to discriminate against and persecute persons of other religion. Obviously, that I told you that if the government will give official recognition to only one majority, only one religion which is a majority, then what will happen? They will start misusing the power and they will start using the financial resources only to discriminate and persecute others which are from other religion. Then the tyranny of the majority could result in the discrimination. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll continue tomorrow. Okay. I hope all of you have filled the attendance and please complete your work. Okay, thank you.